Welcome to Speed Scene Live TV, the only show dedicated to the sportsman racer. Brought to you by Curry Rear Ends, Hedman Hustler Headers, M&H Tires, Aeromotive Fuel Systems, and TheFote.com. With your hosts, Diana Might, Bruce Barker, Scott Lucky Hudson, Alex Rogio, Bob Beck, Bryant Layton, with Donnie Couch and Dar Hawthorne.
Hello, welcome once again to Speed Scene Live. I'm the Bruce Barker guy that some other guy just mentioned a few minutes ago.
Really?
Yes, it's true. Here's a Hot Rod Bob Beck in the studio. Man, I got to adjust that color some more, don't I, Bob?
It's either that or I've got to get some color. I tried with the shirt. I mean, I got the Hells of Poppin'. There it is.
Hey,
over here.
That's
the
right.
Hells of Poppin' shirt on.
We have featured that car on the show as well. Yes.
Beautiful Dragmaster chassis. Bobby Schlegel's got the car. He's back. He's someplace. He got me this shirt. I mean, I feel like I'm styling. I've got to wear this thing. I mean, and he's got them. I mean, and even on the back, it's got stuff.
You look thinner.
I've tried, yes.
I mean, red is thin on you.
Red's thin, yeah.
That would be the voice of Brett Big Schwag.
You know,
Wagner.
I would like to, in the opening credits, I'd like to get Donnie Couch about honorable mention Brett Wagner. Just an honorable mention would be nice.
There we go.
I know, it's like every fourth show, man.
Yeah, we could have you sticking your head out in between, you know. As there's Donnie and there's Brett. There's Donnie. There's Brett.
I'm excited.
There.
We got stuff to talk about coming up.
We do.
Bob, I know we got a special guest in studio, too.
We do.
You know, aside from Big Schwag.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay. Yes.
We're going to talk about the good old days of hot rodding and streeting and rodding and racing where you weren't supposed to and all sorts of stuff.
Oh, shame.
Cruising and rodding.
Hey, speaking of racing, I wanted to get some footage here right off the bat because this is Lucky, and I don't know who's in the right lane there, but this was...
He's the also ran.
Yeah, there you go. NMCA Pomona, and I don't think we had aired this video yet, so we're going to see Lucky do a run in Diana Might's
look
car.
At that. 952 at 138. That's his car.
Yeah.
Yeah, her car's a little bit slower than that, but yeah, that was a good run. Now, I believe that was during time trials.
Oh, okay. Well, let's take a look at Diana Might's car here and see if we can get that thing rolling.
She's picking up on the big end. She's getting there.
Yeah,
she's coming up.
She's trying.
She's close.
Yeah. I think he got her.
I think she let off the gas. She was pedaling.
1073. So she's less than a second slower than Lucky is with his car. Hers is not a tube chassis car.
That's
or
right.
it's modified as Lucky's is. She's got a little bitty small block in hers, but I understand they've got a new motor they're going to be putting in that car. She wants to go faster.
Oh, yeah. Well, I know she's, that's been the plus and the minus of tearing into an original Nova and how far do you cut it up.
Yeah.
I know Lucky's car came kind of as a basket case anyway, so there wasn't that consideration.
Oh, it's cut. But it's nice. I mean, it is a hardcore race car.
Oh, yeah, it is full on.
If she wants to donate that motor... We'll gladly put that motor in my Honda Element.
Yeah, there you go. I was thinking you were going to put it in the Mustang, be build Ford tough with a bunch of Chevy stuff.
A lot of people do that. You know, out of all the episodes of Pastime, everybody came up and got a Ford, and I said, "What you got? What do you got? Power plant?" They're like Chevy.
Yeah.
Hey, I've even got a Chevy in my Mopar.
Now that's sacrilege.
I know.
Now there's drawing a line, and then there's drawing a line.
I did put Mopar valve covers on it.
Oh.
What?
That's confusing, man.
I know. That's me.
I know nothing about motors, but that's weird.
That is weird. That is weird.
I am.
Yeah. Hey,
Yes.
well, now let's see. In addition to all the other stuff we mentioned that's coming up here on Speed Scene Live, by the way, Lucky and Dynamite both out on assignment. Lucky is actually traveling right now.
Yes.
Speed Scene Live Nationals, of course, coming up. And here's some footage from last year, by the way, the SSL Nationals from Great Bend, Kansas. So both of them are on the road. I think for next week as well. I believe co-hosting next week is going to be Alex the Car Girl Rogio.
And she is number one right now in her category with that big, heavy Magnum wagon. She is leading in the points. So this gal has been racing for 3-4 years now as a champion spark plug recognized driver. She's getting part sponsorship from them now. She is number one in points. That little gal is beating all the hired guns, the guys that have been racing for decades.
She's doing well. She's like, low 11s in the car, I believe?
No, she's gotten to the 10s, and I think she's just sneaking into she's not sneaking into the 9s yet, but she's in the 10s with that thing. And up until this season, they actually drove the car to the track, towing the trailer.
I am sorry. How do you say her last name?
Roggio.
Roggio. I didn't want to pronounce that wrong. I see her on Facebook all the time. She's definitely promotes all her sponsors in her car and Champion all the time. So, but she's definitely into the scene. I hope next year.
Yes.
March next year that the big swag, will be able to take her on in my pony, my Mustang.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. You've mentioned that just teens previously.
You know, we got a 90 GT donated by Rubright Racing in Pennsylvania. We got a tech school, North Montco Tech, out there in Pennsylvania. The kids are working on it with Mark Rubright and Bob Hunter, the instructor at the school. So we got a whole, Curry jumped on board right away.
Yes.
Right away to throw us a 9-inch rear end. We got ATF transmissions giving us a motor, and we just had a big meeting 3 weeks ago at American Muscle out there in Pennsylvania, and it looks like they are going to jump on board and finish out the car, and that's no easy task.
No, that's
to finish a whole car.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of dough. So they're very nice. In fact, I'm going to be making an appearance for them in August at the American Muscle car show, which brings in about 5,000 Mustang muscle heads out there in Pennsylvania. So.
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing that you can have a car show 40 years after a car was built, and there are more attendees than there were some entire car lines built all together?
And we're going to be talking about that just a little bit later. One of the things we're going to get into tonight, we're going to be talking about the great days of cruising, and one of the biggest places to cruise that got immortalized on the big screen was Van Nuys Boulevard. With us today is going to be Reed Stoltz. Reed, how you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you.
We're going to jump right into your stuff right now because we're going along. And Van Nuys Boulevard, I started cruising there in 1965.
Wow.
66 when I got my learner's permit, because you could ride in California, you could ride a motorcycle, and all you needed was a learner's permit. And my cousin had a Super 90 Honda that I cruised Van Nuys Boulevard with when I was 15 and a half.
That was a little bit before me. My first time down there was 1972. My brother and I, we went to down the street to our friend's house. He had a Pontiac Bonneville, 65 Bonneville, lowered by way of parking stops in the trunk, and told Mom, we're going down to Russ's house, and jumped in the car and went cruising.
Go to the library and study.
Yeah.
Well, we actually talked my dad into taking us down a few weeks later. He had a 62 Galaxy. We threw all his barbells and weights in the trunk. It was much easier to lower a car than to raise it up.
That's true, yes.
And he took us down, and we had fun.
Well, we've got a lot of pictures of the old days on Van Nuys Boulevard. Now, I say old days, that was all the new stuff. June Ellen's, the donut place, that's not there anymore.
No.
Well, a lot of what was there back then is no longer there, but June Ellen's and...
Are those still there?
They might be, but they are sagging a little bit by now.
Yeah. Oh, man, break the image. We were speaking of Mustangs. That would be a 67 Fastback there.
Yes.
Correct.
When I was growing up, Bob, 1977 probably would have been a big year for cruising down Van Nuys, but I was I was 10 years old, but I used to see in some of the magazines, maybe I might have stole one of my dad's adult magazines up in the closet, but they would always, always have pictures of Van Nuys Boulevard. And they were, vans were a big deal back then.
Yes, they were. And that was one of the things. Through the years, I had a van. When I got out of the service, I
built
these
vans?
No.
No.
The ones that you don't knock if they're shaking.
Shaggin' wagons.
If that van is rocking, you don't bother knocking. But... and Datsuns too, but when I got out of the service, I decided I was going to build a van.
That's a Mustang hubcap on the back. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, it's all right. It only fit for a short time.
Yeah.
I built a van, and I got pulled over by a guy from Hot Rod Magazine. We ended up doing about 5 different articles about the van, and that was my first experience building a car and getting recognized for something that I did right.
Now, is that, the cruising scene, and Reed, maybe you could answer to this as well,
Sure.
is, at that point, vans started, you could get them from the factory sort of customized. They were kind of, they were blocked out as not being individually customized, but you could get striping kits, flare kits, all that stuff straight from the factory, right?
No, a lot of that was from the dealer, Reed, wasn't it?
A lot of the dealers, Galpin Ford was big in doing, they call it galvanized vans.
Okay, yeah.
But there was also kits you could buy with patterns to cut out the paneling, and there's all the magazines you could send away for the flares and the spoilers and sunroofs and.
Oh, so J.C. Whitney would have held it.
Exactly.
Oh, J.C. Whitney probably did wonderful.
Oh, sure.
In business there.
Yeah, I bought a lot of fiberglass from J.C. Whitney, but it was all for cars. But those guys.
Oh yeah.
That was one of the crazies. You had vans, you had T-buckets like the one that you see on screen right now.
Right.
There were muscle cars, there were drag cars. That was with
Bugs.
the LA County Street Bugs. Yeah, Volkswagens. LA County Street Racers. They met at the used market, which is now a Ralph's grocery store, huge market chain. But we'd meet in the parking lot there. Then around 11 o'clock, we'd head down to Crenshaw and Santa Barbara, and meet behind the big shopping center there. There was an IHOP that was open 24 hours a day. We'd gather probably 4,000 or 5,000 people, and then pick a spot and go street racing.
Man,
of course, I never participated in something like that. But now
No.
Reed started something. He tried to bring cruising back. There was a long period of time when the city fathers and the police said, no more cruising. And they put signs up saying 3 times past this sign, you get a ticket. Well, Reed got it okayed and started doing a cruise night there and started the Van Nuys Cruising Association.
Wow.
Well, I need to correct you there, Bob. I never got any okay.
Oh, okay.
Which was part of the fun
problem.
of it. I was on the Ham one night, and there was a thread, who cruised Van Nuys Boulevard in the 70s, and I lived down there pretty much. So I was there 3 nights a week.
Yeah,
and
likewise.
I went on that thread, and there was all these people I hadn't heard from in years, and people started talking about, we should do it again.
Yes.
And people said, the neighborhood's run down, and the cops will never let it happen. So one day I was sitting in my office with another guy I work with who used to cruise Whittier Boulevard.
Oh, yes.
And we were talking, and I said, watch this. And I went on, and I started a new thread, said, cruising returns to Van Nuys Boulevard. And I wrote, the Van Nuys Cruising Association announced today that cruising will return to Van Nuys Boulevard June 10th, which ironically is 5 years ago today.
And
it pretty much just exploded from there. I figured maybe a couple hundred people show up, and it was probably a couple thousand.
Yes, it was. I was there, and the second one, that's when I got my shirt. And you've got a bunch of these shirts still remaining.
Yes, I do.
Well, wait a minute. Are we not? Is the cruising done on Van Nuys? I mean, you said, are we not doing it, or why aren't we not doing it again?
Kind of for the same reason they stopped doing it the first time. Guys got a little out of hand.
Yes, but. The first time it was, you figure, there's 20,000 teenagers down there on a Wednesday night. I mean, it was 3 or 4 miles backed up of traffic.
6 lanes,
6
bumper
lanes
to
wide.
bumper, from June Ellens, which was at the lowest end of Van Nuys Boulevard.
By the 101 freeway.
By the 101 freeway, the Ventura Freeway, all the way up to Sherman Way, which was one of the main cross streets where McDonald's was.
That's a nice long stretch to be packing traffic. Yeah.
But that was, gas was also 29-30 cents a gallon at the time. And even if you had a big V8, all right, so you went through 5-6 gallons.
It was
$1.50.
It was more your left leg got tired from the clutch.
That and other things that were going on in the back seat and so forth. I remember once I were cruising down the boulevard and I had one of my lady friends with me, and she had a squirt gun. Well, we're driving up the boulevard, and she's got the windows cracked, and she's squirting at this little old man in the car alongside us. He's got his window open about that much, and the water, a little bit of drops are going in, and next thing you know, he's putting his hand out like this, going like it's raining inside his car. And we just went into hysterics. But I think we actually invented the wet T-shirt contest in the back of the vans and station wagons.
Very possible. Very possible.
There's a little color footage right there.
Here's a little color.
Oh, that's a movie.
This is a movie.
This is a movie
called Van Nuys Boulevard.
That's right, Van Nuys. I know it well.
Who loves competition.
We'll let you listen to some of this and see some of the stuff. And these are the actual cars that cruise Van Nuys.
Right. And there was so many people down there that there was no way they were going to get rid of them just to film the movie.
No, and this gives you an idea of what it was like. On one side of the street.
But it was normally like that on both sides. I remember there was nights when you'd come down, like from my house, I would come down Van Nuys and I would usually start at Sherman Way, but there was times it'd be backed up to Saticoy.
Oh, yeah.
Another mile.
Right, and making the U-turn there at McDonald's used to be kind of tough.
Yeah.
But and it was always exciting. It was always fun. You always met people. I still have friends from those days.
Oh, absolutely. So do I.
One of them.
Yeah. I was in that jail. Wait a minute.
Well, I think we should start it again.
Yeah. Well,
why not?
Well,
come on.
You know, when we started it back up in 2009, it actually went very well for about the first 6 months. The Rydell Chevrolet people had given us a lot to use because they weren't using it anymore because of the economy. That's now the Fiat dealer.
Yeah.
It was interesting because people were saying, "Oh, we don't need a lot. We didn't have a lot back in the old days," which is true to a point. Everybody used to hang out at B of A.
Yeah.
That was a huge parking lot. But people were saying we don't need a lot. Then we lost a lot. People were saying, "Oh, we don't have a lot." So, place to park. Just park on the street, and it was.
It's
$3
and $4 a gallon. A lot of the guys ended up. I remember I went out there and I wanted to park to talk to some people, and I couldn't find a place to park.
Right.
So, but in the day we didn't park. You did park for a little bit with your car club, and each car club had their own section on Van Nuys Boulevard. Whether you were AV Vans, the Associated Vans, or there was the Royal GTOs, the Pontiac Club that would meet at the Pontiac dealership. LA Street Racers, we were at Hughes Grocery
Market,
Store. Right. The Mopar guys were right up the street on Burbank Boulevard. I mean, there were sections. It wasn't marked. It was just understood. That's where the club went.
Right. Well, you were there earlier. By the time I got down there, June Ellen's was pretty much gone, and the bikers and lowriders had moved up to Arby's up near Sherman Way. The racers were all at B of A and Jack in a Box, and then there was a Bob's Jr. there. There'd be a lot of people just hanging out, driving through there. And the vans, they were just, by that time they made it so it was no parking along the street.
Yeah.
So you had to find a lot of people. I remember a guy who, where the courtyard is for the federal building was a parking lot, and they always had that chained off. I knew a guy every week he got out and cut that chain so people could park there. So,
what was his name? Bruce Barker? Just checking.
Yeah. We won't talk about Bruce's
I do know his name, but I won't mention it.
All right. We're going to take a commercial break right now and give some time to our sponsors. Then we're going to come back, and we've got Roger Gustafson on the phone. We're going to talk about a new race series he's doing down in Louisiana, and he's got the Big Daddy himself going to be there.
Nice. Speed Scene Live. Keep it here.
At Aeromotive, we believe that performance means reliability, longevity, and durability. Being the best is no secret. By utilizing aerospace processes, procedures, technology, in-house engineering, true applications knowledge, and 3 generations of track experience, it's easy to see why we're the best. We take great pride in the fact that everything we sell, we design and make in the USA. See our entire line of fuel pumps and related products by logging on to aeromotiveinc.com. Aeromotive. We know it, we race it, we live it.
60 years. That's a long time for a company to do any one thing. Doing it right while sticking to your founding values. Now that takes hard work and dedication. For 60 years, Hedman's All-American workforce has been devoted to manufacturing the very best headers any team of craftsmen can build. That's 60 years of cutting, 60 years of bending, 60 years of welding, more than 2 million in all. And every set made right here at home. At Hedman Headers, we build all American horsepower, then back it up for life. Hedman Headers, made in the USA.
Hi, my name is Damian Gardner, driver of the Scott Sales Alexander No. 4 Sprint Car. And when I'm not at the track, I'm watching Speed Scene Live.
Welcome back to Speed Scene Live TV, the #1 online drag racing TV show. Brought to you by Curry Rear Ends, M&H Tires, Hedman Hustler Headers, Aeromotive Fuel Systems, and TheFote.com.
All right, welcome back to Speed Scene Live. I'm Hot Rod Bob. Right alongside me is the one, the only, the inimitable Brett Wagner, Big Schwag.
I don't know what that means,
Inimitable.
but it sounds raunchy. We just came out of the movie The Bridge Over River Kwai.
Inimitable. Hey, look what I'm going to do on here. Hello, it's Speed Scene Live. Please hold. There we go.
Okay.
See, there's so much activity.
The lights, the phones are lit up.
Yeah,
I know,
we
man.
got lots of people calling in, which is great. And one of the guys we got, Roger Gustin. He is the big-time race promoter and he's got a great race coming up. Roger, what you got going for us?
Well, good to talk to you, Bob. We've got a Night of Fire event going at State Capitol Raceway down in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, the 27th, 28th, Friday night, Saturday night with fireworks. We're getting a head start on the 4th of July, what we're doing, Bob.
There you go.
But we do have Big Daddy Don Garlitz, and
right on.
He's bringing one of his nostalgia dragsters. I think it's number 27 or 28 or something like that. And he's going to be there. We got a open competition, pro mod. We got the Southern Pro Mod circuit, plus a bunch of guys coming from all over Chicago, St. Louis, Memphis. They're just coming because it's a good payout, and they like to race for us. They've done it a lot of times, and we got, of course, if I'm going, we got to have some jets. So we got some jets coming, and it's going to be. We got a car show, a swap meet, all the things that I normally do when I produce an event, and working with the nicest people I've ever worked with, Lanny and Valerie List and Gary Carter. They're just dynamite people. I raced at that track since back in the 60s. But they bought the track when it was at its worst, and they have spent millions rebuilding that place. I mean, it is just an outstanding racetrack now, and people love to race there. It's a very family-friendly place, and this is about I don't know, it's either the 6th or 7th event I've done at State Capitol Raceway. But
really?
The Night of Fire, it's, as I said earlier, it's June the 27th, 28th, Friday night, Saturday night event.
Okay.
So we're going to have fireworks, the whole show. It'll be a great event to have.
All right, so that's coming up later this month, so it's just a couple of weeks away, and you're going to go big time racing. Now, is Big Daddy going to bring out his new electric Swamp Rat?
No, they're working on it as we speak. They ran it over the weekend. Had another little electrical problem, if you can believe that.
I hope he's got a rubberized seat, you know.
Yeah. That man, when he starts on something, it's obviously that he never stops until he accomplishes his goal, and going 200 miles an hour is his goal, and he's going to do it. Not a question in my mind.
Oh, yeah.
He's already run 184 miles an hour with it, and it isn't like the power curve on a fuel engine. I mean, when you step on it, according to what Don's told me, it's full power right there.
Yeah, you got your full torque right off idle. Well, there's no idle. As soon as you hit the throttle, there's full torque. Yeah, there's no idle. The only thing that's idle is the cars. It sits still. It's just idling there. It's idle. It's not running.
We had a few electric cars and an electric motorcycle on pastime, and the torque is just amazing. And you can't hear them; they just and they're gone. You're like, whoa!
Yeah, super fast golf carts.
Roger Ward had out there when I was spending so much time in California. Roger Ward, famed Indy driver, they ran Ontario Motor Speedway for a few years. He had a kit car with was electric car, and of course the batteries was nothing to compare with today. But I drove that car, and that's the way it was. When you stepped on it, I mean, all the power it would make, that was it. You got it all at one time. So that's kind of exciting, and. The car's a beautiful car that Don's got. I mean, it's a gorgeous car, and who knows? We may be a little advanced in age, not to say we're old, but for us to ever be back driving electric dragsters in competition, but it's these batteries have sure come a long way, and I think we owe the cell phone industry their credit for that happening. You know, they realize what all they can do with battery power now, and it's exciting, and it's great to be back with you guys again. I've done your show a number of times, and I'm going to see the Boss this weekend. I'm going to see Lucky down at Bowling Green.
Yeah, all right, that's good. So, Roger, you've got this great race. It's only a couple of weeks away.
Yes.
And it's big payouts. You got pro mods. You got jet cars. Going to have lots of door slammers.
Yeah, we got bracket races, junior dragsters. Don and I are going to race each other a match race in. Well, I hope they're both Camaros. Of course, Don would like first to be using Christ to do darts, but I'm a Chevy guy, so I'm voting. I'm voting for the Chevys. So
there you go.
We're going to race each other in these so-called stock
rental car
Camaros.
wars.
So,
Yeah.
We're going to have a good show for the fans, and I really do appreciate you having me on. I was very, very pleasantly surprised when Lucky called me and wanted me to ask me if I would be on the show. It's an honor to be on your show, and I just think it's great what you guys have done with that show, and a lot of people talk about it wherever I travel, and I never quit traveling.
Well, good. You keep the racing going. You're one of the leading race promoters in the country right now. You've got a lot of experience. You put on a lot of great races, and this one, it's going to top them all. Night of Fire in Louisiana. Gates open Friday. What time?
Yeah, the gates are going to open about noon on Friday and Saturday, but of course they're going to be night races. We're just going to let the bracket guys go make as many runs, and a lot of the pro mods like to come and test too while we're there. Last time we was there, I think we had 16, 18 of them qualifying for 8 spots. So they're exciting cars. I mean, these are some of the best pro mods. They're basically, other than NHRA safety, they're unlimited pro mods.
Okay, well, that's great. And there's going to be a car show there as well. So it's going to be a great Friday, Saturday event. Gates open at noon, fireworks, pro mods.
Right.
If people want to
kick off about 8:30 or 9 o'clock on Friday night and Saturday night.
Okay, so
we'll wrap it up with fireworks at a reasonable time.
So a good 9-10 hours of racing, rodding, and just plain old fun.
And tasty beverages.
There you go.
Indeed.
And if people want to get more information, where can they go? I think you guys got a Facebook page as well for the track.
Yeah, we got statecapitalraceway.com, and there's information on their phone numbers. However they want to get the information, we got it for them.
All right. Roger, thank you very much for calling in. Hope to see a lot of people out there at the race. I know Lucky's going to look forward to seeing you at Bowling Green for the Hot Rod reunion down there this weekend.
Yep. Yes.
All right. Take care, Roger. Thanks for calling in.
Okay. Well, thank you a whole lot, Bob. I always enjoy chatting with you.
All right. Thank you very much. Take care now.
Okay. All right.
Bob, you have a little tear in your eye.
Oh, I'll tell you
have
what,
a little tear in your eye,
He puts on some great races. Roger's been around for a long time, and we have got a whole lot of people on hold right now.
No, man.
The one I got to get to, though, is Hellcat.
Oh.
For Brett.
All right.
All right. Hello, Hellcat. You're on the air on Speed Scene Live.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Hello, Hellcat.
What are you doing, Brett Wagner?
Well, I'm just sitting here in studio with a bunch of big male testosterone guys, just sitting around getting ready to. I got a big weekend this weekend coming up for Father's Day weekend, so I was waiting for my chance to talk about it. What are you doing?
I was calling to see if you was ready to come back to the mountains.
I am ready to come back to the mountains. Why don't you, since now I know who this is, why don't you tell the folks what is going on this Saturday in Clay City, Kentucky?
This Saturday, we're having a memorial race for Butch Reed at Clay City, starting at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, we got a big Father's Day weekend at Clay City, Kentucky. I've never been to the track. What is the track called again? I want to make sure I say it right.
The track is Mountain Park Dragway.
Mountain Park.
Yeah, let me
get it right there. Sorry, I'm getting a little stuttered. But I'm real excited. We haven't been out in Kentucky except at least for a year, so real excited. We've been promoting this thing for a long time. Got a lot of cool things going on. So I know Lucky's going to be in Bowling Green. Yeah. But for you folks that can't get the Bowling Green, come on out to Clay City. Got a lot of cool classes, got some payouts, got a lot of cool stuff to give away. And, of course, you're going to be there, right, Hellcat?
Of course I'm going to be there.
All right. And I think I might be racing as well. Someone's loaning me a Corvette, I heard.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it's all polished up for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm getting that. Now, that's a 2014 Corvette, isn't it?
Yeah, ZR1.
ZR1.
Oh, I'm jealous.
Well,
I am too.
So I'm pretty excited about that. So if the folks want to, come down, they can go on the Facebook page of Brett Wagner and check it out, or they can go on to the Tracks Facebook page. And
so that's where you're going to be.
Yeah, this Saturday, Father's Day weekend. Friday night we have a test and tune. So if the folks want to get out there to Clay City and get on the test and tune and get their cars warmed up for Saturday, but Saturday we've had a lot of really big response for this. Butch Reed was a really tremendous drag racer, and more importantly, was a really good human being that helped a lot of people out with their drag racing.
By the way, thanks to Serena Brown, we're seeing some Mountain Park Raceway footage right now.
Oh, wow. Well, there we go. So
there we go.
Yeah, so it's going to be a big deal. I've never been to the track, so I'm pretty excited. It's right outside of Lexington, I believe, correct?
Yes.
So it's simple. You fly into Lexington, you get over there, you go to the track. It's going to be big. Look how beautiful that is.
That is beautiful. I look at all the green. That's one thing about Kentucky I've always liked. Whenever I've gone there, everything is so green and lush.
Yeah, so we're pretty excited. So 9 a.m. we're opening up on Father's Day?
Yes, 9 a.m.
So why wouldn't you on Bob Beck?
Yes.
Are any of you guys fathers here?
Yes.
I know you're mothers, but let's talk. I mean,
MUTA.
if you're a father, take them to breakfast this Father's Day weekend. And then what could be better than coming down to the drag races, sitting up in the stand, having a tasty beverage, watching a lot of horsepower. Now, we're going to have cars, trucks, motorcycles, dragsters. We probably got some junior dragsters, correct?
Yes, there should be some there.
We're going to have everything down there, so make sure you come on down. Clay City, Kentucky, this Saturday, the Butch Reed Memorial Race, the first one. I'm sure this will be the first of many. We're just going to keep doing it.
Good.
We're excited that the track is helping us put this on, and they're letting us do it, and it's going to be a big deal. Because, Father's Day weekend, it's kind of one of those tough things. It's not, I don't think people give us fathers a lot of credit. Mother's Day is a big deal.
Yeah.
But Father's Day, we finally have something for us now.
I get Mother's Day cards for all my friends, male and female.
And it's in Kentucky. So, you know what? Next year, folks, take a little ticket, fly the folks out to Kentucky. We'll meet you in Lexington, and we'll get a caravan, and we'll go down to the track.
All right, Hellcat, what are you going to be driving?
Hopefully I'm going to be driving Amanda's car, Amanda May's car.
And what's that?
She's got SLR Gullwing, Mercedes Gullwing.
Dang!
Now, you guys remember I told you that a friend of mine races a Gullwing.
Yeah.
Now, most people would go, how dare you race a Gullwing? But you know what? This is a drag car. It goes down the track. It goes down fast, and well, that is awesome. Hey, thank you so much for the phone call. Thanks for, I'll see you Friday night.
Yes, Friday night.
Okay, so Friday night, test and tune, Mountain Park Dragway. We're going to be there, and then Saturday, the big Butch Reed Memorial Drag Race. So come on down for Father's Day weekend, and we'll see you all there down in Clay City, Kentucky.
All right.
We'll see you there.
Thanks, Hellcat, for calling in. We appreciate it. You got Brett talking. He's such a quiet guy.
Yeah, I know.
Enjoy that Gullwing. And send us pictures.
Right.
Yeah, I
got to see the pictures of that car.
Oh man,
that's pretty awesome. Yeah, I totally forgot that Lucky is going to be in Bowling Green.
Yeah,
and I'm going to be on the other side of the state. So
how about it?
Two cool dudes.
Yeah,
there you have
in Kentucky at the same time.
All right, Hellcat. Hey, thanks for calling.
Thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome.
You
Take care now.
Man,
all right, now on the phone with us, we talked about Van Nuys Boulevard cruising. We talked a little bit about the street racing that we never really did. And on the phone right now is one of the guys that, after a while, he was the one that no one wanted to race, and he still got the car.
Wow.
Wow.
We got you on the phone.
Hey, guys.
Hello there.
Stop.
How you doing, Gotcha?
I'm doing fine. After that phone call from the gentleman that's got the electric car, how in the hell are we going to get street races on?
Well, that electric car is actually Don Garlitz.
I know.
I mean, he's going to be... the thing about...
It starts there,
I know,
but it finishes on the street.
Yeah. Well, you look at it this way. We can run those cars, and no neighbor is going to hear the car go down the street.
Oh, that's right.
That's it.
in L.A., Air 10 will be wondering where the heck you are.
That's it.
Except for they'll see your headlights.
Yeah. Now, in the good old days, the car that I remember you most with was the Fairlane, although I do remember the Coupe somewhat. Reed and I have talked about that. But you had the Fairlane, and you still got that car. Is that correct?
No. What the car I still have is the tow vehicle, the 44.
Oh, okay. You still got that. That was an amazing car too, and you've got that. But I remember the Mustang, the Mustang, and I remember the Fairlane. I remember the Chevy Coupe, Ford powered.
Right.
And
exactly. and I like that you said that because I am the guy that puts Fords and Chevys.
Yeah.
And I'm the guy that you will come out to race. And you will lose.
Oh, yeah. Now in the days, did you ever run Long Alley with us? Old Helms Bakery.
Never heard of it. That sounds something close to what they call the Box Factory down in Bellflower.
Yeah, well, we used to go to the Old Helms Bakery. For those people who remember Helms in Southern California, they made all the bakery goods and brought them out in trucks.
City.
Oh, yeah.
Culver City. And we used to go, when they closed down, they had this huge alley that was about 4 lanes wide between the buildings that went about a half mile long. And we would go there and, for a long time. One night we went there and we were running, and the sheriff's department patrolled that area. And they saw we had our own ambulance, we had our own portable Christmas tree, we had our own tow trucks, and this was we were not very organized, right? And I remember the sheriff coming there one night and looks at us all and goes, "I want you guys gone in 10 minutes." As someone went by popping a wheelie, and he never came back. We stayed till about 3:00 in the morning.
Jeez.
Wow. Helms Bakery later became a Jazz. You can go see Jazz there now.
Oh, yeah.
Is that right? And the fleet of trucks they had, I think, are sort of collectible now. They had
the Devco trucks they used to use. A bunch of guys have them. There's one guy comes out to the cruise nights now with one. He's from the Trompers Club in Eagle Rock. We had him here on the show a few months back, and he had pictures of it. Now, you started cruising Van Nuys Boulevard when?
When I started cruising, it was 1959.
Oh, gee.
But I was only 11 years old then.
Well, see, when I started on Van Nuys Boulevard, I was about 9 or 10. I used to live across the street from the GM plant on Van Nuys Boulevard. Right next to Carnation.
Yeah, by Blythe.
Exactly, right on Blythe. And then at the time, the cruising went all the way up to there because there was Oscar's Drive-In. Right there.
Right, that was on Satakoy and Van Nuys Boulevard.
Right, and that's where they weren't called lowriders, they were the greasers.
Nope.
They were the customs and the greasers, and that's where they'd go.
And one of the greaser car clubs back then, I think, was not only the the Townsman, but there was a club that I never understood. It looked like it spelled Shamios. You recall that club? It was the president drove a 40 Ford two-door sedan, metallic blue, laid on the ground.
Wow. Yeah, I'd seen that, and that was the style. But back then, we didn't have hydraulics. We didn't have airbags. Right. The only way you got it down is you torch the springs or lowering blocks.
You make the transverse spring look like a letter that's not in our alphabet.
That's right. Yes, and it almost became you mounted backwards. What the heck? It did the same thing. But you torched the front springs so you were down on the bump stops, and you had the what was it? Not the keys.
Oh no! You removed the bump stops. What are you, a highlighter?
Well, I am. Yeah, but get those things down on the ground, and they had the candy paint jobs. Now it's evolved, and they call them lowriders. But at that point there was no ethnicity to a custom car. You were a greaser. It just meant you put Brill cream in your hair and combed it backwards. Made it look like you were in a wind tunnel all the time.
Into your ducktail.
That's it. Yeah, you had to have the ducktail. You had to have the Brill cream or the butch wax in your hair, and you wore the Pendletons, and
and button only the top button.
Right. Yep. But I mean, the good old days of Van Nuys. Now later it would stop at Sherman Way, Satakoy. But I remember even the used car lots had hot rods. There was Johnny Angels. There was
and there was Stick City.
Stick City, right. And the last movie that, not the last movie, but the movie Hollywood Nights was shot right there on Van Nuys Boulevard at what was the A&W Root Beer that finally closed down.
Well, right. And the shop that was that they built the 40 Ford, which was George Barris and Tony Nancy in that movie, was located right next door to the A&W.
Right. I mean, there were times I remember before I could drive, I would walk Van Nuys Boulevard just to see the custom cars and the hot rods. And some of them you see at the lots or cruising were in the magazines at the time. So it was like a rolling car show. Wednesday night was club night. Friday and Saturday night was regular cruise nights. And
well, did you know that numerically on Wednesday nights, on an average Wednesday night, and this is no BS, this is a fact, there were 270,000 cars on that 4-mile stretch of road. And if you look at some of the pictures online of like my 40 coupe sitting in traffic, you can see that all 6 lanes are packed bumper to bumper. And it was nothing to be standing at Jack in the Box and watch like John Travolta drive by, or Harrison Ford, or whomever had a car interest. They would be out there cruising too.
Yep.
Of course, that's how I started. But for me, it became the late night ritual. The game was afoot with the police department, and let me point out something too. As the reason we were street racing back there was a reason, but most people didn't know that reason, and including me for a while, until I finally found out that law enforcement was just intimidating me and the rest of the racers. We raced. Why? Because of the same reason that you're running into throughout the United States right now. They keep on closing drag strips down.
Yeah, we were down
Not that we wanted to go out and do it illegally. It's just that, and for a lot of us racers, we don't go to bed at 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock, that's just starting time.
Yeah, that's when you start to meet. And what I can't figure out is places like, I just attended the Eagle Landing drag race, the 8th mile, which was awesome, I might say.
Yeah.
It's the first time I've ever been there. And the March meet, the same thing. It boggles my mind that these people close their track down when the sun goes down.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, I can
that's
understand.
not what it's all about.
No, but I can understand why now. I mean, at the time we didn't have traction compound. You didn't spray a track.
Right.
If you lost traction, you overpowered the track. Today, the guys that are racing are looking for traction compound on the track. They want the VHT down, and they're going to do a burnout. And we were doing burnouts too, but we were using bleach and
right, and you
put
were
rosin
using
down
that
and
stuff
doing it
that
with
we
street
used to
tires.
use in gymnastics on our hands.
Yeah, we were working the car. If you overpowered the track, that was your fault, not the track's fault. And we never thought of it that way. So today, and up in Bakersfield, for example, and I'm there at the March meet all the time, that track actually, the dew in the air makes that track real sticky, or real slippery. And when the sun starts to go down,
I would really like to find the formula that they used to have for Sepulveda and Plummer.
Oh yeah.
Sepulveda, Boulevard, and Plummer. Yes,
Sepulveda and Plummer. There isn't a track in the world
that's
called up like that.
That's called.
I had my Pro Stocker out there in 1973. And hook it up and carrying the wheels in 3 gears.
Oh, geez.
I mean, it was awesome.
That's called Colt 45 and Budweiser mixed together.
All right, hey, gotcha. I appreciate you calling in. I thank you, and I'm going to harass you more on Facebook, and anyone else can too. Just go to Gotcha. He's there. We got to move on. We've got Marlon Mitchell on hold. He's been waiting patiently because we got to go into the next segment. But I do appreciate you calling in.
I appreciate the call out to be able to be on your show, and I thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. Gotcha. All right, we're going to move on to something different right now, and we do appreciate you calling in. All the great cruising that took place on Van Nuys Boulevard, and Reed resurrected it there for a while. Unfortunately, people not part of the cruising screwed it up, just like they did the first time, and cruising no longer exists on Van Nuys Boulevard. But you can get this nifty shirt. To prove that you were on Van Nuys Boulevard, the Van Nuys Cruising Association shirt, and we've got Reed's contact information, I believe, that we can put up there, and we'll let you know how to get these shirts. There are limited numbers still available, and especially if you're back east, you may want to get one of these shirts. Tell people that you were on the West Coast. doing the cruise on the famous Van Nuys Boulevard.
Do you have any fat guy shirts that me and...
Yeah.
I do have double X.
Oh, that's not fat guy shirt.
That's the largest I have.
All right. We're going to move on, though. Get the shirt. Cruising on Van Nuys Boulevard. We'll probably get into that a little bit more. But, for 50 years, there has been one car in production that started a whole craze of cars. Now, it wasn't the first car in this genre, but it was the one that became famous, the Mighty Mustang. Came out in 1964 and a half. With us now is Marlon Mitchell, Fly Ford, and Marlo's alignment. He is the Ford expert. He's got a car club and everything about it, and puts on a whole bunch of stuff, including cruise nights at Irwindale Speedway. Marlon, you there with us?
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
Hey, Marlon.
That's cool. Hey, Reed, how's it up?
Good.
All right, we were talking on the phone about the early introduction of the Mustang. Now, the Mustang that everyone knows and loves was a 4-seater. The first one was a 2-seater, but it never saw the light of production. It was just kind of a prototype.
Well, 62 and 63 were the prototypes, and it was finally 64, when they got it together. They called it a secretary car, but later it was become known as way more than a secretary car.
Oh, yeah.
April 17th, 64 was the first time it aired on a commercial, and it was just before the Wonderful World of Disney.
Ah.
And so, like 7:27 at night, it aired, but before that was done, Ford made sure that there was one Mustang minimum in every Ford dealership throughout the United States and inside the Canadian border.
Mm-hmm.
Between April 2nd and April 30th, there were it aired on 32 programs at 58 minutes of airtime. But it was really a phenomenon. It really was. The base price was $2,300.
Yeah, $2,368 for a sweet 6-cylinder.
4-speed, 289.
Well, yeah,
that was the deal.
It was a great car, but the first ones, the V8 was the first. It was still the 260.
260.
And 64 and a half.
264 and a half was a 260 generator.
Right.
And after that followed the 289 with a generator. And then it was October/November of 1964. They came out with the 289 Challenger motor that was 225 horsepower with an alternator.
Now, what we're showing on screen right now is actually scenes from the New York World's Fair in 1964, where they showcased the Mustang, and that's where I got to see it the first time when I was 12 years old back there in New York. But that was an amazing car.
that was April 22nd of 1964.
Yeah. Now, this car made a statement. It was beat to market by the Barracuda, but no one seemed to notice.
Yeah, well, the
That must have been the
64
marketing.
Bubble Barracuda was kind of a phenomenal car, too. But the Mustang has never ceased production in all the years since it started. And the Chevrolet Camaro has only outsold the Mustang by no more than 3,000 units 5 years at different times throughout the entire production.
Yeah, Mustang was a phenomenon. It sold, 1 million cars in the first, year or two?
Well, by April 17th of 1965, Ford sold 417,000 units.
Wow.
Wow.
Jeez.
At the end of 16 months, Ford had sold 680,000 units.
Wow.
Now, I'm just doing this from memory. I didn't write anything down.
No, I figured you'd be the authority on it.
You guys really have me here at a minor, but if you keep asking the right questions, I've got the answer right now.
We'll get it going
now. The first 260 cubic inch CID motor was 164 horsepower.
Yeah, it was a
and the base engine in 64 and a half was 170 cubic inch with only 101
You're right.
horsepower.
And those they would call them the sweet 6-cylinder Mustang. That's how they marketed that car. But I've got a feeling that although they sold a lot of 4 or 6-cylinder Mustangs, the V8 overshadowed everything, and it became so popular, the whole genre, the whole market was called pony cars.
Oh yeah, that was it. Well, the Mustang became such a phenomenon the Camaro, Chevrolet has to give Ford thank you, because that's what they were forced to produce in 1967 with the Camaro in order to compete.
Yeah, and they were always late to market. Ford always had one up them, the Boss 302, the Boss 429.
Oh, yeah, the Boss. Yeah, don't even get me started. You know, even the 1965 289 K-Code with 271 horsepower, they rated it 10-to-1 compression, but it was technically 10.5.
Yeah.
Shelby, his version in the GT350, which is an interesting story in itself, that was 306 horsepower, and the reason it was called GT350, he asked his wife, he said, what should we call it? And she said, well, how about a GT350, because it's about 350 yards away, 350 feet away. But, there's a rare side slap. And then the Shelby R-Code 289 and 65 was 360 horsepower.
Now that engine. Now, if I remember correctly, there were a lot of dealer available performance options that didn't come.
Oh yeah, you know what? A rally pack with the clock and tack on the steering column, that was only a $69 option.
Wow. Now you can't even get
$69, and do you know what?
No.
Backup lights were a $10.52 option. Wow. And windshield washers were $4.72 option.
Oh my gosh! Break the bank.
You're showing the rally pack there. There's actually two different rally packs. One was a $6,000.
Well, the original was 6,000.
6,000, yeah. RPM.
The aftermarket is 8,000.
Right.
Now, there was, what I used to like was the Shelby GT350s that had the center mount on top of the dashboard in that little.
That was in the center. Yeah.
Right. That to me was always, that's amazing. I got to get that.
Yeah, they have the little tack pod that went right in the center where the just in front of the speaker.
All right, now the Mustang almost died, and they brought back what they called the Mustang 2. And that actually saved the Marquis, didn't it? I mean, because the Mustang was it was becoming big, it was becoming heavy, emissions and all the other safety aspects were starting to go away. And there's the big Mustangs.
Yeah.
And then the Mustang 2 came out.
74 to 78 was the Mustang 2.
And that thing sold quite well.
Yes, it did. You know what? Camaro only beat it 1 year in 1977 in production.
Of course, it didn't hurt that Charlie's Angels drove this car.
There you go. I was about to say, it wasn't the most beautiful-looking car, but with Cheryl Ladd in it, we can always make an exception.
But, that was
you know what? You put a hot blonde in a car, man, it's going to sell.
I know. I mean, if Ford could have gone back to production earlier with the two-seat Thunderbirds, American Graffiti would have sold a ton of them for them.
There you go.
Yeah. But
there you go.
Yeah. Well, now we saw the Cobra, the Mustang 2. It was followed by what they call the Fox Body Mustangs, and this is when they switched.
The Fox Body was an awesome seller.
Yeah.
It still is today on a used vehicle because there's so much you can do to it.
Yeah, and they're inexpensive.
Because the 3-liter, the 302 and the 5-liter are so common engines.
Yes.
That the parts are so available, you can pick up one of those cars in decent straight body for $2,500 to $3,500.
Right.
And maybe put $10,000 into it, not including paint, and have one hell of a handling car.
You got a killer car, yeah. You can get a crate motor for a couple of grand, and you've got yourself an easy high 11-second car.
Easy. If you look at all the shows we filmed on Pastime, I just remember I kept going, God, another Fox Body, another Fox Body, another Fox Body. Then when it came to me deciding to build a drag car for myself, and a gentleman said, well, we can get you a Chevy. I might have a Mopar. He's like, but I got this 90 GT that, and it's so, and like you said, it's so easy to get parts.
Oh, yeah.
And
it's a sweet piece of cake, man.
Yeah, it's a bubble pack car. You buy everything off the shelf. There's nothing. You don't have to fabricate. There's so many people that have built the Mustangs and modified them that the parts are now in mass production. You've got the websites, and you do this too. You out of your shop, you do a lot of the modifications, suspension changes.
I do it. You name it. I specialize in the classics, but I work on a lot of the late models and every car in general. But,
on these Mustangs, the 7.7s, you can get the Ranger axles and get 5-bolt for the rear. The easy rotor change in the front, and you've got 5 lug wheels because they come with 4.
$300 on an option with including axles and rotors.
Yeah.
Nice.
And you've got it. You're there. And that 8.8 is pretty indestructible, you know. I've seen them handle up to 500 horsepower and not twist an axle.
Right.
However, if you get Insta-Stick, you know, things start to break. You always want about 3-4 feet of spin, you know.
Yeah.
If you can get about 10 rotations out of a tire and still be moving, it'll save you money.
But now the 2015, have you seen the pictures of the new Mustang?
Yes, I have.
We got a commercial going on.
I like it that it doesn't have the Volvo rear end. How's that?
Yeah, they've made some changes to it. I personally, it looks good. It's not radical enough. They could have. Here's their option. They're trying to go after the Camaro.
I think it could have looked much better also, but you have a team of engineers.
Looks a bit like the Jag.
We all know that they know best, right?
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
You know,
Ford had the better idea. Remember the Pinto?
The chalkboard's cool, but you still need to know how to work the chalk.
Yeah.
That's all right. I like the Boss 302s that I saw.
Yes.
You know, in 2004 or 2013, when I was up at the Edmonton Auto Show, they had unveiled those Boss 302s, which I liked. I didn't like the price, but I sure loved the car.
Yeah, they were good, and you've got people like Celine, you've got Roush that are all doing, and Shelby, that are doing upgrades after the assembly line. You can get a factory warranted high-performance Mustang that'll just be killer and shut down just about everything on the road.
Well, Carroll Shelby, up until now, I don't know about 2015, so I can't say too much about it because I haven't seen all the results on it.
Yeah.
But Carroll Shelby, if you go to his facilities in Las Vegas, Nevada, it's up there at the north end of town. Really a nice place. And they did open a new museum on the Strip, which I haven't seen yet, which I would have loved to have made it to the 50th, but unfortunately it hasn't worked. But, you know, before 2015, they would give you a factory warranty up to 750 horsepower.
Yeah.
Now, they gave you an option of 800, but there was no warranty.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's a grenade. Anyway.
And to compete for the Texas Mile and the Mojave Mile, and I've seen these cars run, the S1000 Shelby, they're well over 200 miles an hour.
Oh, yeah. Well, the Mustang's been around since 1964. It is still in production. It's the longest running of the pony cars. Marlon, I do appreciate you calling in. Thank you very much. Marlowe's alignment.
Hey, I just need 1 second for a shout-out.
Okay, shout-out.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see you again, man. See you soon.
All right. Thanks a lot, Marlon. We'll be talking to you. You'll be at the Supercar Sundays out in Woodland Hills.
I'm there every Sunday on Road 12, and that's where we park all the classics, man.
And you bring your 60, was it 65 or 66 Mustang?
It's a 66. It's got 426 with a flywheel out of a 308 cubic inch engine. Hey, Reed?
Yeah.
See you out there, man.
Yeah, I'll be out there.
We'll see you out there. All right. Thanks a lot, Marlon. Take care.
You guys have a good day.
We definitely are.
I can't bring my car out because it won't be done till March.
Dang. Supercar Sundays goes on every weekend in Woodland Hills at the shopping center there right off the 101 freeway.
Well, I can't bring my Honda Element.
You
well,
can.
Maybe I can. All right, I'll bring it.
There's a part in this parking lot you can park it
I can park behind the truck and trailer.
There you
park
go,
way over there, sir.
We have got a great show going for you. We hope you enjoyed it. Brett, you're headed out to Kentucky?
Got a couple things. Going to be at Clay City, Kentucky, Mountain Park Raceway this Father's Day weekend. Then in July 11th through the 13th, going to be at Super Chevy Maple Grove.
Super Chevy. There you go.
So that'll be my next 2 appearances. Very excited about it.
Cool. I'm going to be at the LA Roadster Show at the Pomona Fairgrounds this weekend. Stop by the AAA booth. I'll be in there. Say hello. And if you mention Speed Scene Live, I'll have some goodies for you.
Wow.
Reed. What's your life like this weekend?
Going to be at Tommy's in about 5 minutes with a double chili cheeseburger.
Actually, that's right down the street from my house.
Very nice.
I haven't had a Tommy's in too long. Maybe that's a good thing. I don't know.
All right, Bruce, take her
probably
away.
grilling away this weekend.
There you go.
Good man. I'll probably be under the hood of that Lincoln. I got to see if I can start it up this weekend and blow up the entire neighborhood. No, not just my driveway. Every driveway.
Yeah,
Nice.
just watch the leg this time.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we don't want any Achilles
Don't break
repeats.
anything again, yeah.
All right, hey, some final shots here. Van Nuys Cruising from Richard McCloskey. Thanks for Fine Art America is where Richard's associated. Great photos there. Man, a ton of fun. By the way, we had a couple of calls, Bob, during the show, thanking you and the cast here tonight for the Van Nuys Cruising memories.
Good,
So,
good. Glad to hear that.
And Reed, good to meet you.
Nice meeting you too.
All right, here's what's coming up. And, of course, Big Schwag in studio, our special in-studio guest, who's the guy really is now. He's a co-host, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Part-time co-host, semi-slow, mini, diabetic, chunky, soon-to-be GT driving Mustang fool.
Looking forward to that. Hey, coming up next, the encore presentation of tonight's show. Thanks again from all of us here at Speed Scene Live for watching tonight and every week, and we'll see you once more right here next week at Speed Scene Live.
Speed Scene Live TV, the #1 online motorsports TV show. Brought to you by Curry Racing Rear Ends, M&H Tires, Hedman Hustler Headers, Aeromotive Fuel Systems, and TheFoat.com.